And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. As always, my name is Doug McCain. You can follow me at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. You guys, little Dodgers Nation post-game show after dark. Thanks for rocking with us here almost 11 o'clock here on the West Coast. But we know hardcore is you guys want to talk some Dodger baseball, so let's get right into it. What up, Cesar Rios? Yeep. PYKS checking in from Phoenix, Arizona, the 602. Austin, how about Corey Seager tonight? That's what I said. Corey Seager, he lifted the Dodgers to the win tonight. Corey Seager, two doubles for Corey Seager tonight. Now, fourth in Major League Baseball. He gets his 40th double of the year. Corey Seager really was the offense until the Dodgers were able to string some hits together. Cody Bellinger was nice to see him get a rip late in there. Cody Bellinger goes 1 for 3. But you're right, Corey Seager, he's my player of the game. Goes 2 for 4, scores a run, 2 doubles, 4 big RBIs. When the Dodgers, they didn't get their first man on base until the 5th inning with a Cody Bellinger walk in the 5th. That was the first Dodger base runner. So, like I said, the battle of the bullpens, it goes to the Dodgers. And how about Kenley Jansen? Kenley Jansen, he gets the job done again, gives up a single. Look, Cody Bellinger could have made that play. Cody Bellinger will tell you that it's a play that he's capable of making. Definitely not an error, but Kenley Jansen, he gets the job done. 4th save of the year that's longer than 1 inning. Hadn't had a save longer than 1 inning since back on July 14th. Remember, after the All-Star break. But welcome into the Dodgers Nation post-game show. You know how we do things here. Give me your zip code. Give me your area code. Got a big bag of shout-outs I want to throw at you guys. Who you guys got as your player of the game? You want to go give it to Kenley? You want to give it to Corey Seager? I'm giving it to Corey Seager. That Dodger offense was non-existent. He gets it going. Gavin Lux has an RBI single. How about A.J. Pollock gets a big hit? So once that Dodger offense started to get going, they were in cruise control, and then Kenta Maeda. So Kenta Maeda, we're looking at him for some extended playoff relief. He comes in, gives up that 2-run bomb to Aguilar. But back to the comments, do some rapid-fire style. Get your Dodger takes in. We're going to break it all down. But welcome in to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Here we go. We got Joshua Kenley looking good. Kenley is looking good. He's looking much better. And I'm telling you, he says it's a field pitch, that cutter. He says he found it when he was playing long toss in Baltimore. Well, hey, you got that love and feeling back into his cutter. The way he mixes up with that slider and that four-seamer, keep him a little off balance, and it's that late break on the cutter. So a lot of people want to look at the velocity on the cutter, and the velocity was up to 95 when they were against New York, and he gets out Pete Alonso, but it's that late break, and it's something to be very, like Kenley said himself, he plays for October, and if Kenley Jansen looks like he's this kind of pitcher that can get big-time, high-leverage clutch outs like the Kenley Jansen that we love, we want to get all hyped for that California love like we used to, and I think he's got that love and feeling back in that cutter. But here we go. We got Jamie. He's back. Left work. Way to go, Dodgers. Keep it up. Mora, watching from Provo, Utah. Watch YouTube on TV and listen to the Dodgers announcers on the LA app. I did the same exact thing. I used the TuneIn app. I did the same thing. Listen to Charlie Steiner, Rick Monday. Rodolfo, what's up from San Diego? What up, Rodolfo? David Dawn, redemption for the big fella. Seager is a doubles machine. Oceanside, Michelle Carter, Seager, Rosales. It's a wrap, Dodger Blue. Now that magic number down to 6 with Atlanta. Atlanta loses tonight, and they got that NLCS home field advantage in sight. Still a lot to play for, and Dave Roberts and Andrew Freeman and company showed you can still compete while workshopping things. You can still develop. You can still get closer to that playoff roster while also winning games. And that was a great example because this Tampa Bay team, they were a game and a half back in the wild card, and they're right in the thick of it. This was a playoff game. So a great thing for this Dodger team, playing these high-intensity, must-win games where the other team has all the sense of urgency in the world. First, you got it in New York against the Mets, and tonight against the Rays, who are desperately trying to get into the postseason. Joseph Magazzini, DTLA, another sloppy game, like the late offense. Jansen looked good. What up with Belly? Yeah, the thing with Cody Bellinger, he's missing pitches. And then you see those pitches low and away. Those swings are very unimpressive, to say the least. He looks lost on those swings low and away. Our boy A.J. Gonzalez says he looks like a I don't know. He makes fun of some person at a dance or something like that. But low and away, it does not look pretty. It looks very defensive, and he's got to shorten that stroke. They said he put in some extra work in batting practice, going the opposite field, shortening that stroke. But look, he's trying to hit bombs sometimes, and he's got to be a little more dynamic with his approach at the plate, and they need Cody Bellinger to get it right. But what up, Joseph Megazzeni, VIP member of the Dodgers Nation postgame show? We're going to get into Cody Bellinger in a second. Past my bedtime. Hey, man, get your Z's in, man. But, hey, never too late to talk some Dodger baseball. But good night. Thanks for rocking with us for a couple minutes here. Ryan, what up, Ryan? Always rocking with us. Joshua, always here. What up, Doug? How's it going, Joshua? Adam, Yahoo! He was wearing his red shoes. Hell yeah. Hey, man, he's one of Jordan Brand's athletes, and he's got the fresh kicks out there, got the new do. It looks like a new Kenley out there of late, and it looks like he's getting focused, and he's fighting his stuff at the right time. So, look, we're just talking about Cody Bellinger. I'll take a cold Cody Bellinger in September if it means he can turn around in October. But Kenley Jansen, that's really one of the biggest developments. Him and, of course, the fact that Hyun-Jin Ryu, he had a positive outing, 7 scoreless after having 4 clunkers in a row. But if you look at some of the numbers with Cody Bellinger, so his OPS 891, still above average. And go to DodgersNation.com, by the way. There's a great piece written by Clint Pasillas. The real FRG did a great piece about Cody Bellinger and his recent struggles. And look, when it comes to Cody Bellinger, he hasn't hit a home run now in 12 games. And during that stretch, he's hitting 225, OPSing 551. And I'm in agreement, he's in a slump. And it's okay for us to admit that Cody Bellinger is in a slump. Look, we were talking about the idea of him chasing Ted Williams, him hitting over 350. Well, the fact remains he definitely has that MVP in his grasp. If you look at it, still has an 8.2 WAR, his WRC plus at 161, but that average, it looks like it's creeping closer and closer to sub 300, and Anthony Rendon is chasing him for that MVP race. So, but back to you guys. Get those Dodger takes in. How'd you guys feel? Who you guys got as your player of the game? If you have not, let me know where you're watching the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Throw that in the comments. Belly needs to wake up from Robert. Jose, what was the YouTube montage of them losing the World Series? That was painful. Jose, I'm with you 110%. What was that? I mean, we're in the lead here, and you're just showing us these nightmares. I try to black that out, and now I have to relive that as we go into the 9th inning. Jay Carter, love the show, Doug. Go Dodgers, 3-1-0 repping. I love it. Michelle Carter, I missed the first 2 innings. How did Ferguson do? So Caleb Ferguson, who he worked with Rick Honeycutt to change the grip on that curveball, and he was showing a lot of signs of life. But tonight really wasn't his night. He didn't give up a hit. He did not give up a hit, but gives up a walk, steals second, balks for the first time in his career. So first time in his career, he gets the balk, and then Willie Adams, he hit the sacrifice fly, and then Joey Wendell scored. So if you look at him, he pitches 1 2/3 innings, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. So Caleb Ferguson, a guy who's trying to make his way onto the postseason roster. You saw Dave Roberts announce that Ross Stripling is going to be a part of that. So not a great showing if you're Caleb Ferguson tonight. And if you look at Caleb Ferguson, he's a guy that has improved quite a bit. He has improved quite a bit on his quest to make it to this postseason lineup. And unfortunately, tonight was not a good night for Caleb Ferguson. That curveball looks different, mixed in some different pitches. The grip on it, better break. But Doug Crosby, it was ruled an error on Belly. Doug, it was ruled an error. Okay, my bad on that. So it was a little hot. I mean, to me, if you want to rule that an error, I got you. But yeah, I mean, Cody Bellinger, a little sloppy. You saw the play where Pedro Baez in the pop-up with David Freese. So this team, we saw, you remember a couple months ago, Dodgers 8 straight games with the error. You don't want them to get sloppy. You want to button that up as we get closer to the postseason. Didn't like what I saw there. Look, the pitcher, Pedro Baez, you always get out of the way in that situation. You always leave it to the fielders in that situation. Ryan Seager, no-brainer. Rick, Dodgers Nation from Fresno, California. Frank, 93611. Seager was the man tonight. Sheila from the 909. We got Manny. That ponytail really seems to work for Kenley. We got Ryan. It looks like he's slowly getting hot again. I like that. He's not getting hot overnight. It is an incremental growth for Kenley Jansen. He's incrementally getting back and getting hotter. And look, if you took a whole season for Kenley Jansen to work in a four-seamer, to work in that slider, then, hey, all it takes is for him to be right come October. Because come October, should the Dodgers get deep in that playoffs, into the NLCS, into the World Series, we know that Kenley Jansen is going to be a factor one way or another, whether it's blowing saves or getting key saves. But we're seeing what we want to see at the right time for the Dodgers. Joshua Seager, definitely. We got Samuel. Dodgers must win tomorrow to put pressure on the Rays to beat the Yankees next week at their home. I was just going to mention that, looking at their schedule, that the Dodgers, and that's a great point, Samuel, if the Dodgers, the more they win against this Rays team, the more you put them in must situations against the Yankees. And what that, of course, does is allows the Dodgers to get that home field advantage in the World Series. Like I've said, in the World Series, you want to get that home field advantage. You saw what happened since 1925. Home teams have for Game 1 of the World Series. The home team is 59-34 since 1925. That's a 63% winning percentage. So if you look at that too, the home team with home field advantage, they've won 59% of fall classics since 1925. So the debate amongst Dodger fans is, should we rest guys? Should we get guys healthy? Should we tinker with the lineups, with the bullpen, as far as the auditioning process goes, as far as tuning this team up for the postseason? To me, I still think there is no house money games, and you chase that home field advantage because it's proven to be a major factor when it comes to winning that Commissioner's Trophy. And you know that at the end of the day, that is what we're after here. Kristen, 209, loves the Dodgers, and the Dodgers love the 209. David Dahlin, 7 runs, no homers. We have other ways to get it done. Great point, David Dahlin. Now, this Dodger team, you know the way they can rake. They can slug with the best of them. 261 home runs. They lead the National League. If you look at it if you take away the DH, really, they would really have the most home runs in Major League Baseball. But tonight they get it done. 7 big runs without the home run. You see guys finding gaps tonight. Kike Hernandez, I think, had one of the best at-bats tonight. Kike Hernandez, that pitch right inside on him, he takes it, finds that gap in left field, and Kike, I think that was a great sign for Kike Hernandez. And then Gavin Lux. So Gavin Lux, he's reached base in 6 of his last 12. Gavin Lux, after, I remember he was 3 of 18. He went 2 for 5 in his first game, had a single his second game, but really fell into a big slump. Now Gavin Lux is starting to be that player. Look, with Alex Verdugo out of that first-round series, the NLDS, he's going to for sure be on that NLDS roster. But don't think that he doesn't have this in mind, where Gavin Lux is trying to prove to this Dodger front office and this Dodger staff that, hey, he's a guy that didn't just come up here to observe. He came up here to play. Last 7 for Gavin Lux, 313, and he's OPSing 875. And he had that huge, he was responsible for that win against the Mets, the one that went off the wall. Tonight extends that Dodger lead. But back to you guys. How do you guys feel about Gavin Lux? You guys want to see Gavin Lux on that postseason roster? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to say, give me a G for yes, you do want to see him, okay? And I think Gavin Lux is that dude who, if you look at that swing, now one of the things we lose with Alex Verdugo is a hitter that can get that contact rate, and Gavin Lux looks like another guy that can do that in spades. But back to my comments here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, yeah. So if you look at tonight's game, the offense really they sputtered. They sputtered for the first 5 innings. That bullpen was the real deal. You saw why that ERA is what it is. That bullpen for Tampa Bay, they pitched over 710 innings. So they came to play. One of the negative spots tonight, though, you got to admit, was Kenta Maeda. Kenta Maeda, he's been hot of late. You saw how that velocity goes way up You saw how that velocity goes way up when he's coming out of the pen. He gives up that shot to Aguilar, and it became a nail biter. It became a nail biter. But we got L.A. Pitt fan Jose and the 219 bleeds blue. And then you got, it really was the top of the fourth. Corey Seager, or it really was the top of the sixth. Jock Peterson, or one second here. And then Pedro Baez. Pedro Baez is another thing, too. Pedro Baez, first home run off his changeup all season long. So that was another thing that you didn't want to see, because Pedro Baez, he's been a steady rock for this Dodger bullpen. And the Dodger bullpen, here we go. We got 916, love from the SFSF, from Adam Luis. G, he does deserve a spot in the roster for the postseason. Cyberpunk, Gavin Luggs has a super high ceiling. So, yeah, his potential is the best, even though he's not so good right now. Samuel, Dodgers should have no problem getting home field after tomorrow. We only have to play non-contender teams. A lot of games against the division. They close up with the Giants. And the Dodgers should really feast on the NL West, where they've dominated all season long. So I definitely agree with that. The Dodgers should have it relatively easy, but Yankees actually have an easier schedule down the stretch. They play more division opponents. They play the Blue Jays once again. So tonight also Julio Urias gets some spots. If you look down if you look at Julio Urias, not a lot of work for Julio Urias today. He comes in, he pitches tonight 1 inning for Julio Urias, but 2 strikeouts, a walk. Caleb Ferguson did not look strong. Dylan Floro, he pitches a third of an inning, gets a strikeout. So that was nice to see Dylan Floro. He might be a fringe guy. And don't underestimate the fact that just because you don't make it in the NLDS, that based on lineups, based on the analytics, you know this is a franchise that is going to look from top to bottom every single matchup. So guys can, even if they don't make those early round rosters, that everyone's in play as the playoffs get further and further. And then Ross Stripling. So Ross Stripling, he pitched 2 innings tonight, gave up 2 hits, 3 strikeouts for Ross Stripling. So that was definitely an encouraging sign to see him missing bats out there. And Ross Stripling, in 14 starts this year, he 3.36 ERA and 67 innings, and that FIP is at 3.86, holding batters to a slash line of 243, 280, and 426. So my question to you guys is, do you guys see this 4-starter position? We know Rich Hill, he's doing everything he can to get back, and I think Dick Mound is going to make it back. The heart of Rich Hill, to me, tells me that he's going to make it back into this staff. Of course, not enough time to build him into a starter, but you find a way to get him into that bullpen. What do you guys think, though? You think it's going to be an extended bullpen-type game for that 4-starter, or do you think it's going to be Gonsolin? I think right now Gonsolin is that odds-on favorite to get that done. I think Gonsolin is that 4-starter. He's got the stuff that's going to play up in the postseason. He's that splitter specialist, grades out of 70, out of 80. And he can also rear back and hit velocity, hit his spots. And I just think he has that poise to make it in the postseason. So how you guys feeling about Tony Gonsolin? But tonight, though, other notes, you got, Ross Stripling coming in. Pedro Baez, Choi, that home run that he gave up to Choi, only one on his changeup all season long. He wanted it down and away, and it was middle and up. So really it was a command thing on that changeup. And then some more sloppy play with Bellinger and Baez bumping into each other. So, but back to you guys. Dean 5150. Honest question, is Will Smith big league ready? You hate to see it. You hate to talk about it. And what a difference a couple months makes. We were just yelling and screaming about Will Smith. He has gone ice cold. On the road trip, he went 7 of 24. He was 5 of 12 against the Mets. And if you look at Will Smith, last 30 games, he's batting 156, 10 for his last 68 plate appearances with 3 home runs, 1 of 15 on the road trip. It was 1 of 15 on the road trip. That was talking about. I was reading about Corey Seager. He's actually 1 of 15 on the road trip. Last 30, batting 156. So Will Smith definitely struggling. But if you look at that OPS, if you look at his potential to slug in the postseason, I think you have to ride it out longer with Will Smith. You know, we've talked about it ad nauseum about his ability to catch pitchers, whether or not guys like Hyun-Jin Ryu favor him. You saw Hyun-Jin Ryu pitches his best with Russell Martin behind the plate. But with Will Smith, look, tonight, Will Smith, I was hoping that he got that hit when he pulled it to left field. But tonight, he goes 0 for 3 again, does score a run tonight, does score a run, and does get on base with a walk. So he's seeing pitches, he's taking pitches, but Will Smith is another guy that has struggled of late. So is Max Muncy. Max Muncy is a guy, he hasn't gotten a hit since he got off the IL. 0 for 3 tonight, scores 2 runs. So Max Muncy is another guy that needs to start getting it together, start heating up at the right time. But the question about Will Smith, I think that it's not, look, we saw what happened last year. Yasmani Grandal, he fell into the tank. And Austin Barnes, he stepped up. But even the best version of Austin Barnes is not going to do what Will Smith has the potential to do. So that's why I think you ride it out with Will Smith. And look, these are growing pains. These are growing pains with Will Smith. And like Tommy Lasorda said, only problem with success is that it does not teach you about how to deal with failure. So he jumps onto the scene, and you saw his OPS, and you saw what he was able to do right out of the gates, and we hadn't seen anything like that. I mean, he's getting walk-off home runs, and he's just balling out of control. But Will Smith, if you look at Will Smith, he really has to find a way to get that. I mean, if you look at last 18 games, 143, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, his OPS down to 396. Now, you put that against his first 28 games. His first 28 games, now that's not a huge sample size, but it is a larger than normal sample size. That's almost a month of baseball. He was hitting 318, 12 home runs with 31 RBIs, OPSing over 1,200. So he spoiled us early, looked like that phenom. You had Joe Davis doing I am legend calls, a little premature on that, but he's got to find a way to get better at bats. He just looks a little lost out there on the plate, and I'm with you. We got to find a way to get Will Smith. But the reason why you stick with Will Smith is we need offensively someone who can – we need that power. We need that pop, because it was missing in the World Series last year, especially from that catcher position. We can't have those automatic outs. And then also, don't underestimate the idea of you can maybe have it DHing, have Austin Barnes playing depending on if he's able to get it going. But we got Ray Barseman. How's it going, my man Ray? He's always rocking with us. My man Ray Barseman out there. El Paso strong, right? We need to have Austin Barnes and Will Smith on the postseason roster. I think ultimately that's what you're going to find. The versatility of those two. We know how well Hyun-Jin Ryu pitches to Russell Martin, but I think ultimately that's going to be the combination that you're going to end up with. Ray Barseman, Gonsolin is a good right-handed reliever out of the bullpen. I'm worried about Maeda, though. He is too inconsistent. Now, Maeda, it's about command. It's about first pitch strikes. And when he's able to do that, Cyberpunk, Will Smith is starting to irritate me. I hope he fixes his issues now so he doesn't struggle in the postseason. That's a great point, Cyberpunk. Struggle now so you can feast later. We need everyone to work out their issues right now, and you got a lot of guys that are just cold right now, and that is the ebbs and flows of a baseball season. And look, don't kid yourself. Yes, the Dodgers are playing for home field advantage in the World Series. Yes, that magic number is starting to get lower and lower to get home field advantage against the Atlanta Braves or whoever in the NLCS. Or no, just be the Atlanta Braves. But don't kid yourself. These guys, it's a long season. They look like, especially Cody Bellinger. I think Cody Bellinger needs a couple days off to retool that swing. He had a nice rip on that one today, but Cody Bellinger, that swing is getting big, and he's missing fastballs right down the plate. Missed one right down Broadway today, and that's what you do not like to see. So looking at some of these numbers, some of these recent slumps, the last 30 games for For Jock Peterson, he's playing well, as streaky as hitter you're ever going to find. He's slashing 304, 368, OPSing 1,100, and he actually has the highest OPS with more than 50 at bats for any of the position players. But if you look at it too, like Justin Turner last 30 games hitting 241, Cody Bellinger hitting 239. You got Kike Hernandez hitting 250. We need guys to start stepping up and start getting into that playoff form, and that's why it's definitely a good thing that these last couple games, these last couple of series have had a playoff-like feel. So back to the comments. Here we go. Doogie back in the NLDS. I think he'll take a lot of time to get hot again. That's a great point, too. We know he's been working at Camelback Ranch, but the thing, too, that you lose with Verdugo, you lose, to me, I mean, between him and Bellinger, you lose your best defender. So the thing about, and Matt Bay's going to do a nice job filling in. He's hitting, 288, 9 home runs, 46 RBIs, and then he's come up clutch in multiple clutch situations. Matt Beatty has been nails when it's counted this year. He's hit that walk-off against the Rockies. He's had big hits. Should have had another one against the Phillies where it put him ahead against the Phillies earlier in the year. But the thing about Alex Verdugo is you miss his defense. Also, you miss his ability to you miss his ability to put the bat on the ball. If you look out, Alex Verdugo struck out in just 13% of his at bats during this year. So along this season, he's only struck out in 13% of his at bats. He's been excellent. He's been fantastic when it comes to coming off. When it comes to getting that bat on the ball. That contact rate is there, and also that UZR score, 38.1 in 128 in the third inning. So if you look at him, that UZR score is very high, and he has that range. So Alex Verdugo, look, he's not going to be back as early as we want to have him back, but when he does come back, he's going to provide a spark for this team, and we're definitely going to need him. I'm telling you, Alex Verdugo is going to be the difference when it comes to this Dodger offense, and especially late in this postseason. Once we get deeper and deeper, closer to that World Series. We got SD Dodger. How's it going, my man? SD Dodger. Follow him on Twitter. One of the best Dodger followers. He is our esteemed Dodger scouting expert there. Attends a lot of the Quakes games. But, Kenta Maeda is fine with one inning, and absolutely, you got that slider, a specialist to get out right-handed batters, but unfortunately, this is a team that I think is going to ask for more out of Kenta Maeda. I think they're going to want him for 2-3 innings maybe, especially in that fourth start with the Dodgers, and depending on who they throw out there. I think they have more in mind for Kenta Maeda. Hopefully, the Dodgers can settle on a routine for him and settle on a game plan because, look, you saw that velocity. It starts to go up 94, 95 miles per hour once he's coming out of the pen, and then it's all about command. It's all about command with Kenta Maeda. If he can locate that fastball, get first pitch strikes, it opens up that slider, opens up that changeup. So it's really on him. Raider Mike, what up, Raider Mike? How you doing, my man? Are the Raiders going to beat the Vikings? Let me know right now. Repping from enemy territory, Ray Barcimia, right on, Doug. Verdugo is the emotional spark plug of our team, and he will be the difference in the playoffs. I definitely think that he's going to be that guy that comes in fresh, hopefully as healthy as we can get him, and he's a competitor, and that he brings that energy to this team, and they feed off. It has a residual effect. There's a ripple effect with the way that Alex Verdugo plays the game. It's with the fire and intensity, and I just can't wait to have him back. Ray Barcimon, our bullpen will be fine. We have more dudes that can bring the heat in our bullpen than we had the last two seasons. That'll be a huge factor in the playoffs. Great point, and that's something that we've been preaching for a couple years now, a couple months now, is the fact that the depth of this bullpen has the potential to overcome some of the deficiencies. And you got guys like a Gonsolin. You got guys like a Julio Urias, and potentially a Dustin May. That kind of stuff plays up. When you can miss bats in the postseason, it is a game changer. And this Dodger bullpen, and also the big game changer, of course, is Joe Kelly. So Joe Kelly, if he can be 60, 70, 80% of the Joe Kelly that we saw in last year's playoffs, that can be the big asset. That can really close the deal for this Dodger team as far as doing that. But if you look at the bullpen as a whole, second best bullpen in Major League Baseball since June 1st with a 3.50 ERA. But one of the issues is if you look at 23 losses on the year for this bullpen and second worst as far as inherited runs scoring. So that's the thing. It's when you got guys on base, can these guys get the outs they need with runners on second and third, runners in scoring position? Tonight, you saw some examples. You had clean innings for guys. Kolarek is a guy that you really trust out there. Kolarek is really starting to build that trust as a guy that's a big-time lefty specialist, can induce that soft contact, and can get those outs. But back to the comments, Sadler is legit. Sadler's a guy really didn't he's a guy that's really pitched a lot better in the bigs than he did in the minors, and he's a guy that's trying to make. He's got some nice stuff, absolutely. Patrick Cullen, KJ is looking good. He has been holding back for October baseball. That's a great point. That's by the way, that's a greater point, Michelle Carter. Vasquez in jail now. Glad we didn't trade the farm for him. Not going to get too much into that crazy situation. I couldn't believe what I was reading this morning. But hey, sometimes the best trades are the trades you don't miss. I can only imagine. Look, I've never called out of this gig, but I can only imagine this post-game show had we had made that trade, had we have shipped off Dustin May and Gavin Lux and brought on Felipe Vasquez and had the story come out like it did. That would have been an absolute nightmare. I don't know what I would be able to do with myself. I don't know what you guys would be doing right now. You guys would be absolutely just on fire. But Raider Mike, doesn't Urias scare you, or is it me? To me, I think that, look, Julio Urias, one thing you have to know about him is this guy, he has that poise. He's got that moxie to be out there in those key situations. You remember Julio Urias, he pitched in Game 5 of the NLDS against the Nationals and in 2016, okay, at the age of 20, okay? So this is a guy that he's got it out there from Sinaloa, Mexico, and to me, I'm the biggest fan of Julio Urias. 1 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 18 pitches. To me, with Julio Urias, it's about throwing strikes too. We know he's got the great stuff. We know he's got the change, the fastball, the location. He's got that pitch mix that you want to see. But to me, it comes down to command. It comes down to walking guys. But I think that Julio Urias has to be. You saw him hit a batter. He walked a batter to load the bases, and he gave up that game-winning pinch hit double the other day to the Mets. So that wasn't a good one for him. That was not his best outing. But all these guys are starting to be put in these situations that have that playoff-like feel and intensity to it. So the thing, too, is I didn't like those 2 pitches. I feel like they were borderline calls. I feel like I think he got hosed a little bit on those calls. But ultimately, Julio Urias, over the past 4 seasons, a 3.66 ERA, but only 123 innings. So in 8 starts this season, a 3.26 ERA. I think they're going to keep him out of the bullpen, and I think that he has what it takes to get big time outs come postseason time. We got Cyberpunk. I like Kolarek a lot, being a lefty specialist. Absolutely. Jose, what up, Jose? Always rocking with us. The Pomona Dodgers. All right. We got Adam Hanks. I like hearing Joe and Oral instead. Yeah, it wasn't. It was kind of fun. How about this? What'd you guys think of the YouTube broadcast today? I don't know if I'm gonna like and subscribe to it, but I thought I did like some of the commercial-free entertainment that they were giving us in between innings. The best one was Hideo Nomo. We're on the anniversary of Hideo Nomo's no-no at Mile High, the only pitcher to ever throw a no-hitter, and that was against one of the most potent offenses in Major League Baseball that year. Go on YouTube and watch that. But I just could not believe that they were throwing those flashbacks of those 2 World Series. It was just blowing my mind. Josh Spores seems to be good closing material. I think that he's going to be on the outside looking in when it comes to that postseason roster. Has some good stuff, little inconsistent. If you look at these, if you look at what the Dodgers are looking at, I mean, if you got, what the Dodgers are looking at when it gets closer to this, if you look at the lefties, you got Ferguson, Kolarek, Julio Urias, and then a lot of righties: Pedro Baez, Dylan Floro, Yimi Garcia, Tony Gonsolin, Kenley Jansen, Joe Kelly, Kenta Maeda, Dustin May, Casey Saller, and Ross Stripling. So I think when you look at those options, you see those locks. Dustin May, I liked his last appearance. He looked really good. But ultimately, I think that it's going to be tight. It's going to depend on the matchup. So, Raider Mike Nomo was awesome. Love Nomo. We got No Really Come On. I hated YouTube replaying the World Series lowlights. Exactly. They were lowlights. They were definitely, I'm glad that I didn't throw my channel at the TV. I was thinking about throwing a little Walker Buehler heater right at the TV. I was not feeling that. Cyberpunk, to be honest, that World Series segment was an absolute wake-up call and a reminder to our bullpen and offense. Great point, Cyberpunk. Great point. I mean, hey, it got me fired up. And said, hey, let's get it on. It's time to get another crack at this, and this time get it done. End that drought. Why can't Will Smith ever finish the season strong? From Eric Lee. Adam Hanks. Samuel, you said it. That 2X. LOL. Nomo FOMO. They got so many things wrong. Ryan Garlic. They did. They got a lot of things wrong, man. It was just left and right. I mean, they're trying something new. They're trying to get younger. They're trying to appeal to a different demographic, so I can understand. And, hey, a lot of people don't have Spectrum Sportsnet. So, hey. And also Michelle Carter, YouTube broadcast better than ESPN broadcast. Okay, you could honestly make that argument. That's how bad Alex Rodriguez. I mean, I like Matt Vissergian. I like him. I like him. But to me, I just can't. I mean, every time it's like a bunt, it sounds like an explosion. I don't like how they put the speakers on the ball. Garlic is tradable. Cyberpunk, definitely. I think Garlic, Edwin Rios. What do you guys think about the idea of possibly adding Anthony Rendon? I know you guys heard those whispers. There was rumors over the weekend about Rendon. And to me, hey, if Rendon joins the club, that's the guy who's making a case to take this MVP this year. And Rendon, he's hitting like 340 since the All-Star break. I think Anthony Rendon is a guy you move Justin Turner to first, sign him on a 5-6 year deal, hook him up. But I mean, this is the guy I'm telling you. You didn't get Bryce Harper this offseason. Anthony Rendon is a guy, he hits for average, he hits for power, and this guy brings it on a game-in and game-out basis. And I really think I think the Dodgers, they make a serious run at the World Series this year. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, that it culminates into a World Series, and then you add a guy like Anthony Rendon, and you use this World Series that we're going to win, fingers crossed, toes crossed, and you say, Anthony Rendon, you come, and then we build a dynasty. You throw Justin Turner to first base, because, look, make no secret about it, I love JT, I love the Ginger Jesus, but he has lost a step or two at third, and Anthony Rendon, I think, would be a big-time acquisition. That is a guy, and this team, look, you know that Andrew Freeman is not going to make frivolous acquisitions. He signed A.J. Pollock. If you look at A.J. Pollock last 7, he's hitting 385. So A.J. Pollock, and he also crushing lefties. So he's a guy, you bring him in, and that's a guy that you seriously consider breaking the bank on. But Adam Hanks, 3X, Ray Bar-Simeons, the Dodgers will beat the Braves. I love Ray with his predictions, okay? He's got the Dodgers, I think, beating the Astros. By the way, how about this? Throw out your World Series predictions right now. I'm going to call my shot. I think the Dodgers, it's still early. I can change this a couple times. I got the Dodgers winning at home. I got the Dodgers in 6 against the Yankees. I think the Dodgers against the Yankees in 6. That's my call right now. What do you guys got, though? What do you guys got? I think the Dodgers will learn from that mid-season matchup, and I think the Astros, they're definitely a strong team, but But I think the Yankees, they're so due for a World Series appearance. They don't go on those kind of droughts. But Jose Ra lived 1 month without Time Warner Cable slash Spectrum. Haven't looked back. So you're good. So let me guess, you're getting your games on a site that rhymes with credit, right? Vasquez for Lux, Eric Lee. We got Raider Mike, is home field advantage overrated, or do you think we need it? We kind of broke it down a little earlier. Look, if you look since 1925, teams are 59-25 in Game 1 of the World Series, and then the home team since 1925 has won 59% of the World Series. So the numbers will tell you that getting home field advantage has the biggest bump in that World Series compared to, like, if you look at most sports, the division round, it's just a little bump over 50%. Then it goes up just incrementally in the NLCS. But when it comes to that World Series, it takes another leap. So I definitely think it's big. It also shows us that this team, I could look at, let's say we do lose the World Series. I don't want to say that, okay? But in the event that nightmare strikes again, we can look at this team and say, hey, they did everything in their power to secure World Series title. And I think having home field advantage gives the Dodgers the confidence, and it shows the league that, hey, we are the favorite to get this World Series done. And I think, to me, it's a no-brainer. To me, based on the circumstances, based on the splits with Kershaw, with Ryu versus home and away, I think no question about it. If you saw the way that they've been working their rotation, how they've been mixing things up of late, it looks like they're going with Kershaw in Game 1, Ryu Game 2, and Walker in Game 3. That's my prediction for the way they're going to line up the rotation. So I think Kershaw at home, Ryu at home, I would have much more confidence about that. Can you imagine Kershaw Game 1 at Minute Maid Park, or Kershaw Game 1 with that short porch in Yankee Stadium against the Bronx Bombers? They're going to turn into the Bronx Zoo. So I think you got to bring it back to the friendly confines of the Chavez Ravine. And another thing to think about, too, is, look, the Dodgers, they're 3-11 against the Yankees all time, but those 3 World Series titles that they did win, those came on the road. So Raider Mike, hell yeah, I like that. Adam Hanks, we would have the Astros of the World Series if it was not for sign sharing. We could get into that all day long. I definitely think they were stealing signs. If you look at Yu Darvish, the way he's pitched since being a Dodger, no way they were going to rake him like he was. But look, the reason why we didn't beat the Astros ultimately was our inability to get contact. I mean, we lived by the home run, died by the home run that series. We weren't able to play the small ball. We weren't able to have a more dynamic approach at the plate, and that's why Robert Van Scoyoc, he's just developed a new style that's hopefully going to pay dividends in the World Series in the Fall Classic. But Ryan Ginger Jesus, Cyberpunk, having Anthony Rendon in our team would bolster our offense, but I'm worried about the price tag he's going to have with the media attention he's getting now. Look, he's a Scott Boras client. Scott Boras clients get theirs. They get paid, but you have to think of it long term. Yes, we're going to have to start paying guys. We're going to have to start doling out contracts to our younger guys, but if you look at this young core with Gavin Lux, with Will Smith, Cody Bellinger, and Corey Seager, it affords the Dodgers the ability to bring in a guy like Rendon. And Rendon, I think, is 30 years old. I think you get 3 years of peak prime out of Rendon, and I think that he becomes a major player. Because, look, let's make no secret about it. This offense, they can get stagnant. Last week, they averaged 4.1 runs per game. On the season, they're averaging 5.4 runs per game. And if you look at this year, and it's crazy to say that because the way that balls are flying out of the ballpark this year at an historic rate, this team is actually going to break the all-time Dodger run record. The all-time Dodger run record was all the way back in 1962. The 1962 Dodgers scored 845 runs. Today, after tonight, the Dodgers have 825 runs. So they're going to smash that record. Dream... love the Panda, dream a little dream of me. I like that. Samuel, what would it take to bring Arenado to the Dodgers? I think Arenado to the Dodgers, especially within the division. Now we're talking if he was in the AL, if he was in a trade partner that the Dodgers are familiar with, I think it would be a different story. But we're talking about the Colorado Rockies within the division. Arenado just signed that big deal. He's already locked up. I think you're looking at some of the bigger prospects. I think you would have to part ways with the Dustin May, with the Gavin Lux, with the Keibert Ruiz, maybe give up some position players. They might want Verdugo, maybe Jock Peterson, something along those lines. But it would be a haul, no doubt about it. But hey, for Arenado, that's another thing. You definitely. That's why. Hey, you take. Hey, look tonight. Dodgers, their attendance 48,000 in attendance. That's how much the Rays get for like an entire season. Okay, and you take advantage of some of that revenue with the Dodgers, and you sign a guy like Anthony Rendon. If you don't have to subtract, you just add. That's how you start building depth and dynasties that could win World Series for a long period of time. Jose Rod, Dodgers versus Yankees. Dodgers winning. We got Love the Panda. Go Padres. All right. Welcome to a winning franchises post-game chat. Jarlo Beerberto Pollock is only good for about 97-plus games. Hey, A.J. Pollock missed a lot of games. We know that he's been bitten by the injury bug for the last couple of seasons, but he's starting to play his best baseball at the right time, and we need it. With the trade of Puig, we need power from that side, and it looks like A.J. Pollock is a guy that's ready to provide that. If you look at A.J. Pollock, post-All-Star break, that's when he came back. A.J. Pollock, he's hitting .286, on-base percentage 352, slugging 554, OPS of 906, and then 12 home runs, 29 RBIs. So if you look at post-All-Star break, Justin Turner, 17 bombs, Cody Bellinger with 14, and then Jock and Pollock, they're tied with 12, and then Max Muncy comes in with 11 home runs. So I think that's going to prove to be a fruitful acquisition for this Dodger team is A.J. Pollock. A Cyberpunk, Dodgers will win it against the A's 4-1. Cyberpunk, look, I'm all blue, boys in blue, all day, every day, till I die. But I do kind of like the A's. If I had to pick a team, I think their uniforms are fresh. I like the money ball. So if we played the A's, that'd be great. And, of course, it would be visions of 1988 against the Oakland A's. So that would be fantastic. We know we can beat the A's like we did in 1988. Maybe we'll have another Gibby moment. Who would be the one that would have a Gibby moment? Who would you guys think? Well, it's sadly, it would be someone that was injured, right? So I could see it be Justin Turner, right? No, I guess it would be David Freese. David Freese would be the Gibby moment. You have to admit that. David Freese, the Iceman, he would have the Gibby moment against the A's in the World Series. You know it. Eddie, LOL, Yankees will beat the A's. Ryan, same Dodgers win it in 6 against the Yankees. We got Cyber, the A's are hungry to win it all. Adam Hanks, Dodgers don't play good in Oaktown, though. That's true. They haven't had very much success. Kind of been one of those bugaboo teams playing up there in the Oakland Coliseum. Michelle Carter, always rock with us. How's it going tonight, Michelle? Dodgers winning 4 against the wild card. Dodgers winning 5 for NLCS. They win 4 for the World Series. Nomo Fomo would love to see the A's take down the Astros and the Yankees. Jario Bearded, do you believe the Dodgers fare well without home against the Yankees? I think that would be an uphill climb to have to go to Yankee Stadium with Ryu and Kershaw against that potent lineup. You saw the Yankees. They hit 9 home runs at Chavez Ravine, that 3-game series, and they're going to start to get healthy. They're going to get Severino back, so that would be a tough climb. I still think they could do it. I still believe in this Dodger team, and I still think this Dodger team hasn't played its best baseball. I think you need Cody Bellinger to start hitting like a 300 hitter. Like I said, go to DodgersNation.com. Check out the real FRG, his piece on Cody Bellinger, and one of the things he points out is, who is the real Cody Bellinger? Is it the Cody Bellinger for the first couple months? Is it the Cody Bellinger in the last couple months, or is it really right in the middle of both? I think that with how his swing is, the majestic home runs that he's capable of hitting, I like to believe that it's closer to the 300 hitter that he is right now. Adam, Kershaw is raw. I like that. That could be a T-shirt. Kershaw is raw. Cyberpunk. No, Eddie. What up, Eddie? Dodgers don't want any part of the Yankees. I disagree. I think the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers will take on any American League foe, and they'll have confidence. And the Dodgers, don't underestimate losing 2 World Series in a row, what that does to a team's psyche, what that does to a team's drive. They see Vin Scully. They see Sandy Koufax. They see Tommy Lasorda. They see Dodger fans out there like you guys, like me, that are desperate to raise that commissioner's trophy, that are desperate to pop bottles on Figueroa. So, and we're going to have a post-game show, too. I mean, it could get wild. Raider Mike, I'd rather get a better starter. Well, hey, Garrett Cole's out there. He's a guy. I heard Garrett Cole might go to the Angels. Ray Barcimian, I didn't realize the A's clinched the playoff spot until I saw it the other day. Congrats, Dodgers, on a great win from Marisol. How's it going, Marisol? Adam Hanks, the West Coast World Series. Cyberpunk, the Dodgers will do phenomenally against the A's like the 88 World Series. Let's get Cole from Nomo FOMO. We got Michelle, yes, freezes clutch. Ray Barcimian, cool shirt, Doug. Piensa Azul. Go get merched up. By the way, reminder, DodgersNation.com, freshest Dodgers shirts in the game. They're flying off the shelves right now in anticipation for the postseason. So get geared up for sure. Elm Street. What up, Elm Street? How you doing, my man? Let's sweep the Rays for the A's. Go Dodgers. I like it. I think I need a midnight snack. Dodger dog, please. Oh, it's 11:45. Jeez, it's kind of late. Cyberpunk, Garrett Cole going to the Yankees would be an absolute waste of talent. Hey, you see a lot of marquee guys go to Anaheim, and their career really fizzle away. But yeah, what else you guys? See if I was going to show you guys it. Mora, good or bad, win or lose, always think positive about our boys in blue. What you put out there is what you're going to get back. Hashtag LA bleeds blue. Mora O'Brien, I love that. Positive vibes all day, every day for your Dodgers. But that is going to do it. Dodgers get the win. 45th, by the way, 45 comeback wins of the year. Their record now 98-54. And the Dodgers get the job done. They outlast the Rays, win 7-5. Corey Seager, 2 doubles. Now 4th in Major League Baseball in doubles with 40 on the season. But we're going to be coming back at you on Sunday. Got a big show on Sunday. Don't forget to follow me at DMAC_LA. That's at DMAC_LA. I got all the news about the post-game show. Also, listen to my podcast, the Get More Sports podcast. You can also watch it on YouTube. Go to my Instagram, DMAC_LA, or my Twitter and get the link for that. You guys can also comment on that, too. Give all your takes, all that cool stuff. But as always, guys, thanks for rocking with us here. A little Dodgers Nation post-game show after dark, as always. But thanks again, guys. See you next time. Go Dodgers, as always, and I'm out.